The puck skips across the neutral zone, players chasing with desperate speed. The crowd is on its feet, buzzing with energy when suddenly, crack! A collision so violent it echoes through the rafters shakes the entire arena. One player lies sprawled on the ice, the glass still trembling behind him, while 20,000 fans gasp in shock. That sound? It wasn't just two men colliding. It was the sound of raw power, of bodies moving at 25 miles per hour, meeting in an instant of destruction. And that's just the opening act. Because in 2025, we've already witnessed some of the most bone-crunching, jaw-dropping, and downright brutal hits the NHL has seen in years. Buckle in, because tonight we're breaking down the biggest collisions of the season so far, and trust me, the final one might be the dirtiest check of the decade. Hockey has always lived on a razor's edge. On one side, dazzling speed, brilliant goals, and skill that leaves you speechless. On the other, pure physical chaos, thunderous body checks, open ice demolitions, and players who hit so hard they leave opponents wondering what city they're even in. In 2025, that edge has never felt sharper. This season, we've already seen superstars laid out, playoff games shaken by controversial collisions, and rookies introduced to the NHL the hard way. These aren't just highlights. They're moments that spark debates about safety, rules, and whether the game has gotten too dangerous. So let's count down the most brutal NHL hits of 2025 so far. We'll give you the play-by-play, the aftermath, and the controversy behind each bone-crushing moment. Hit number 1, Avalanche versus Blues, Parayko on MacKinnon. It was January, early in the season, but tensions were already sky-high when the Avalanche clashed with the Blues. Nathan MacKinnon, Colorado's superstar, was streaking through the neutral zone, head down for just a second as he collected the puck. That's all Colton Parayko needed. The Blues defenseman, 6'6" and over 230 pounds, had lined him up from the moment he crossed the blue line. He stepped forward, shoulder squared, timing the play to perfection. And then, impact. Parayko's shoulder drove directly into MacKinnon's chest. The sound was like a shotgun blast. MacKinnon's helmet popped loose, bouncing across the ice as his head snapped back violently. He lay there for a few terrifying seconds, motionless before rolling to his side. The crowd was stunned into silence, then erupted in boos and gasps. Why was it brutal? Because MacKinnon didn't see it coming. He was vulnerable, focused on puck control, and Parayko hit him at full force. It was technically a clean hit under NHL rules. No elbow, no head contact, but it looked devastating. Aftermath? Trainers rushed to MacKinnon, escorting him down the tunnel for concussion protocol. Blues fans praised Parayko for textbook physical hockey. Avs fans screamed for a penalty. The refs kept their whistles silent. Sports talk shows replayed the collision endlessly, debating if clean hits can still be too dangerous. Hit number 2, Rangers vs. Islanders, Kreider vs. Mayfield. February, Madison Square Garden. The Battle of New York. It's always nasty, but this one delivered a hit straight into highlight reel history. Chris Kreider, the Rangers' veteran forward, carried the puck along the right boards. Islanders defenseman Scott Mayfield spotted him, lowered his stance, and launched. The hit came with such ferocity that Kreider didn't just go into the boards, he went straight over them, flying directly into his own bench. Sticks and gloves scattered everywhere as Kreider landed across his startled teammates. The bench recoiled, players scrambling to avoid being crushed. The arena exploded with a mix of cheers and gasps, while broadcasters struggled to keep up. He sent him right into the bench. The brutality here wasn't just the force, it was the spectacle. How often do you see a 225-pound NHL forward physically launched into the player's bench? Aftermath? Kreider bounced up in fury, swinging his stick as his teammates tried to restrain him. Mayfield stood tall, expression cold, as the referees sorted out the chaos. A line brawl erupted seconds later, resulting in 5 penalties. On social media, fans dubbed it the most New York hit of the year. Memes spread instantly, some showing Kreider landing on his teammates' laps like an unwanted guest. Others argued it was dangerous and reckless. Either way, it was unforgettable. Hit number 3, Oilers vs. Flames, Zadorov on Draisaitl. March, Edmonton vs. Calgary, the Battle of Alberta. You already know it's going to be violent, but nobody expected just how brutal this one would be. Leon Draisaitl was carrying the puck across center ice, eyes ahead, preparing to dish a pass to Connor McDavid. What he didn't see was Nikita Zadorov closing in like a freight train, 6'6", over 240 pounds, skating at full tilt. The moment Draisaitl touched the puck, Zadorov unleashed one of the hardest open ice hits of the season. Draisaitl's body launched backward, flipping through the air before slamming down flat on the ice. The sound of the collision, shoulder into chest, was like 2 cars colliding head-on. The entire arena gasped. For a few seconds, even Calgary's fans froze in disbelief. Trainers rushed toward Draisaitl as McDavid charged straight at Zadorov, shoving him as teammates piled in. Why was it brutal? Timing and size. Zadorov hit perfectly. Technically clean, shoulder to chest, no head contact, but the sheer mass and speed made it devastating. Aftermath? Draisaitl lay stunned before being helped to the bench. He returned later, proving his toughness, but the Oilers were furious. 2 fights broke out immediately, including one between Zadorov and Evander Kane that had fists flying. Online, fans were divided, some calling it the cleanest hit of the year, others labeling it predatory. Hit number 4, Penguins versus Capitals, Wilson on Crosby. April gave us one of the most controversial collisions of the year. It was Penguins versus Capitals, one of the fiercest rivalries in hockey. And at the center of it, 2 names every NHL fan knows, Sidney Crosby and Tom Wilson. Crosby had the puck, gliding through the slot, eyes scanning for a pass. Out of nowhere, Wilson lowered his shoulder and delivered a crushing hit straight into Crosby's chest. The superstar crumpled to the ice as if someone had yanked the air from his lungs. The arena went silent. For a split second, fans weren't sure if Crosby would get back up. Penguins players immediately swarmed Wilson, shoving, shouting, and demanding blood. Why was it brutal? Because Crosby isn't just any player, he's hockey royalty. To see him knocked down like a rookie by one of the league's most notorious hitters sent shockwaves through the NHL. Aftermath, no penalty was called, and that only fueled the chaos. The Penguins bench erupted, the crowd showered Wilson with booze, and debates raged across sports networks for days. Penguins fans screamed for suspension. Capitals fans claimed it was just hockey. And Tom Wilson, he just skated off, smirking, as if he'd written another chapter in his villain's legacy. Hit number 5, Bruins versus Leafs, McAvoy on Marner. May, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Bruins versus Leafs, already one of the NHL's most iconic rivalries. Every shift was a war, but this moment in Game 5 changed the entire tone of the series. Mitch Marner was racing through the neutral zone, head down for just a second, when Charlie McAvoy stepped into him with devastating precision. Shoulder to chest, full speed. The impact folded Marner instantly, his stick flying as he collapsed to the ice. The Toronto crowd let out a collective gasp. You could feel the silence for a moment before it turned into a deafening storm of boos. Trainers rushed onto the ice, and for a terrifying moment, it looked like Marner might not get back up. Why was it brutal? Because of the timing and stage. A superstar flattened in the playoffs when every second matters, and by Boston's defensive anchor. It wasn't just a hit, it was a message. Aftermath? Miraculously, Marner returned in the third period, greeted by thunderous applause from Leafs fans. But the replay went viral across every platform. Leafs fans screamed, "Dirty hit." Bruins fans said, "Playoff hockey, baby." The debate only added fuel to a rivalry already burning white-hot. Hit number 6, Dallas versus Vegas, Benn on Eichel. June brought another heavyweight clash, Dallas Stars versus Vegas Golden Knights. Both teams are known for their physical edge, and this game turned into a slugfest. But one hit stood above the rest. Jack Eichel, Vegas's star center, carried the puck along the right boards. Jamie Benn, Dallas's captain and notorious power forward, closed in with a brutal body check. The collision slammed Eichel shoulder first into the glass so hard that fans in the first row visibly recoiled. The boards shook violently, glass bending under the force. The crowd roared, some in awe, others in anger. Eichel stayed down for a few seconds before staggering to his skates, his face grimacing in pain. Trainers skated over, but he waved them off, determined to finish the game. Why was it brutal? Because of the sheer violence of the impact. Benn's hit wasn't dirty, it was pure force. The kind of check that reminds everyone why hockey is a contact sport like no other. Aftermath? The hit added another layer of bad blood to an already fiery rivalry. Vegas fans called for Benn's suspension. Stars fans argued it was good, clean hockey. On social media, the clip was shared endlessly, with fans pointing out how the boards practically buckled on impact. Hit number 7, Canada versus USA, Summer Showcase, Caufield hit. July brought international fireworks. Canada versus USA, a summer showcase game that was supposed to be friendly, but when pride is on the line, there's no such thing as light hockey. Cole Caufield, one of the USA's most electric forwards, was carrying the puck with speed through center ice. Just as he crossed the red line, a Canadian defenseman stepped up and unloaded a thunderous check. Caufield went sprawling across the ice, his helmet nearly popping off as fans on both sides gasped. The brutality wasn't just the hit itself, it was who it happened to. Caufield is known more for skill in scoring than brute force. Seeing him crushed in international play set social media on fire. Aftermath? Caufield bounced back quickly, showing toughness, but the clip immediately went viral. Fans from both countries argued endlessly online. USA fans furious at the dirty Canadian hit, Canadian fans boasting that it was just strong hockey. TikTok and Twitter exploded with edits, memes, and debates, proving once again that hockey is more than a game. It's national pride on ice. Hit number 8, Flyers preseason. Rookie hit. August, preseason hockey. For most veterans, it's just a warm-up, but for rookies trying to make the roster, it's life or death. And one rookie found out just how unforgiving the NHL can be. A Flyers rookie forward was skating confidently into the offensive zone, puck on his stick, when a veteran defenseman spotted him with his head down. In a split second, the veteran lowered his shoulder and delivered a crushing check that sent the rookie flying backwards, sprawling on the ice. The crowd roared as the hit replayed on the Jumbotron, some cheering, others groaning at the sheer violence of it. Trainers rushed to check him, but the rookie managed to stand, shaking it off, though the look on his face said it all. Welcome to the NHL, kid. Why was it brutal? Because it was a rite of passage. Every rookie has to learn. Keep your head up or someone will teach you the hard way. Aftermath? The rookie finished the game but looked noticeably more cautious. Fans online called it the hit that baptized a rookie. Coaches likely saw it as a lesson, painful but necessary. By now, you've seen superstars flatten, rivalries ignited, and even international pride shaken by brutal collisions. 2025 has proven that no matter how much the NHL tightens its rules, no matter how often player safety is debated, the big hit is still alive and well. But all of that pales in comparison to the one we're about to show you, the hit that silenced an entire arena, sparked outrage across the league, and targeted the NHL's brightest young superstar. Climax hit. Blackhawks vs. Red Wings. Cider on Bedard, September. Chicago Blackhawks vs. Detroit Red Wings. Connor Bedard, the NHL's golden boy, the face of the league's future, was skating through the neutral zone. The crowd leaned forward, expecting another dazzling rush from the 20-year-old phenom. And then it happened. Detroit defenseman Moritz Seider closed in with perfect timing. He lowered his shoulder and obliterated Bedard with one of the most devastating hits of the year. The sound of the collision echoed through the arena. Bedard's helmet flew, his stick snapped, and he lay motionless for what felt like an eternity. The arena went silent. Even Red Wings fans who cheered the hit held their breath, realizing this was no ordinary collision. Why was it brutal? Because it was the league's future star, the one player everyone tunes in to see. Watching Bedard crumple sent shockwaves not just through the building, but across the hockey world. Aftermath? Bedard eventually rose to his feet, showing resilience, but the debate erupted instantly. Was it clean? Was it targeting? The NHL reviewed the play and issued no suspension, which only fueled more controversy. On social media, the clip exploded. Millions of views, thousands of arguments, fans split right down the middle. For many, it was the single most shocking moment of 2025 so far. And there you have it, the most brutal NHL hits of 2025 so far. From Parayko crushing MacKinnon in January, to Zadorov bulldozing Draisaitl, to Seider's controversial demolition of Bedard, this season has already been one for the books. These moments remind us why hockey is so unique. Yes, it's about skill, speed, and goals, but it's also about intensity, toughness, and the constant threat of a hit that can change a game, or even a season. The debate rages on. Are these collisions part of hockey's DNA, or has the game crossed a line? Fans love the spectacle, but players bear the cost. 2025 may go down as the season that reignited the argument over just how brutal hockey should be. So now it's your turn. Which hit shocked you the most? Was it Wilson sending Crosby to the ice, McAvoy leveling Marner in the playoffs, or Seider crushing Bedard in September? Drop your pick in the comments below, and we read every single one. And if you loved reliving these bone-crunching moments, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next breakdown. The dirtiest cheap shots in NHL history. Trust me, that one's going to be even nastier.